How you doing? My name is Donnie Magnum, and this is my gun review for today. We're going to do the original Smith & Wesson M&P 9 versus the new Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0. We're going to give you a close-up view, go into some information on it, and then you decide if you want to, spend the money to make an upgrade or not. It's a really good gun. Here is the close-up view. Alright, let's just get into this right quick. Here's the Smith & Wesson 2.0 and then the Smith & Wesson M&P Original 9. I got the original 40 and the 45. If you don't already know, I am a Smith & Wesson fan, diehard, showing you the differences between the new upgraded Smith & Wesson and then the original. See, the first thing you notice is the frame here. The rough, aggressive texture here. You can see this. It's really, really rough. And so you can grip it really hard and get up on there. The original, not so much. There's some little bit of stippling and stuff like that, but other than that, it's still pretty smooth. It's comfortable when you're concealing. That's what I look for when I'm trying to find a concealed carry weapon. I'm looking for something really comfortable. This is not comfortable. It's not much of a problem. You can get used to it. Second thing you immediately notice is the differences in between the slides. They are some minor and major differences, and in the width, there's some changes they've done. Now on this one, you can see the serrations. The slide's been cut out deeper. So you can see that here on my camera. You can notice here the beaver tail on this original M&P. It sticks out pretty far. It goes on you like this. But the new one, they've opted not to do that. It was for the military modular system that they were trying to get. Now, as always, the grips are interchangeable as the original. I've opted for the medium for all these large and small hands around the house. It's really easy to get off. They have other sizes like the original, no problem. What I have done when I can still carry this, I have an original one. I put it on, and it doesn't bother me as much with the aggressive texture. This is what I've been doing for a while now, carrying this thing. I have went down to 9, unfortunately. It's no problem. 9 is a problem. Actually, 357 is a problem. That's what I usually carry, this big guy right here. And it's usually a problem when you have small children in the car. You do not want to hurt their eardrums if you have to use it. So a 9mm is a nice option for that when concerning kids in your vicinity. It does hold 17 rounds like the original. It's 17 plus 1, sorry. As you can see also, I have opted for the short barrel model. It is the 4-inch, not the 5-inch. I seen the FDE versions. I kind of liked it, but they didn't have it in the 4-inch version, so I didn't get it. I kind of wanted it, I kind of didn't. These things are tricky. They had the safety version. This is the not safety version, of course. All mine are no safety versions. I cannot stand that thing, and it's really bad for concealed carry. There's so many safety precautions already inside this thing. You don't need an external safety. It's ridiculous. You will notice also this one has an extended slide release. It's more of a profile than the original. This little safety here, not really a safety, it's more of a spring that it's easier to get on and off than the original. This one, it's really easy anyway. This one, I've had it for a while. It's mostly stock except for the barrel. I have not put a trigger or aftermarket trigger in it. I have polished the guide rod, and I polished the barrel, the feed ramp, and that's basically all that I've done with it. I've kept it mostly stock. I had night sights on it at one point, but then I just got them off there. I didn't really carry this anymore. So getting down into the more here, you see this original stuff, and then the new one is just as easy to break down. And then you see the internals are mostly the same. No, I'm not going to take it apart here because look at this, is dirty because I've carried it. It needs cleaned. I suggest cleaning yours once a week at least when you're carrying. They said striker fire mechanism is a new red sleeve, serrated. I am not 100% sure. Some people are saying it's for the hydrostatic lock, and then this one still has the white, the original white. Some of them have gray that were upgraded with these. I did put night sights on these. They're still pretty good. And you can tell the frames here. The shape and everything is mostly the same. There's some slight differences. Of course, there's more surface contact here to give it a better aim. There's the steel frame. You can see inside here. You can see here that they've cut out steel frame. It's supposed to give more rigidness to the polymer here. And then there's some other slight differences to the trigger mechanisms. This one, the new one, is way better. And if you're not a heavy shooter, you're not going to notice much. And if you just go ahead and put a Apex trigger, definitely tell this is way more responsive. And you're not going to notice it until you actually pick one up yourself and compare. This one has probably my original 2,000 rounds, 2 to 5,000 rounds. I'm not even sure. I've shot this thing so much, and it's real loose. It's broken in. It's real good. This new one, I've only put maybe about 1,000 rounds in it, and it's still, I mean, it's still tight. It's still, I mean, 1,000 rounds is a lot, and it's never failed me at all this entire time. A lot of people are asking about the changeability on all this stuff, all the accessories and everything else. That, all the accessories will fit. All the magazines, they'll fit too. Interchangeable. The barrels, the guide rods are all interchangeable. I wouldn't. I would keep everything, with your 2.0. I wouldn't go back at 9, put it on your old one. The slide, I would not do any of that stuff either. I wouldn't change it. Keep your original parts with your original parts. A lot of people have been doing that. I don't know why. Okay, now the barrels. They are original stock barrels I got from Smith & Wesson when I bought the guns. And they're pretty much the same. It looks like the original is slightly longer than the new one, but you can tell, see if I can pick it up on my camera, you can tell the variations of this new barrel is way tighter. And I'm trying to see if you can pick this up on my camera. Alright, now they're saying the barrel is a 1 in 10, and the unlocking mechanisms for the barrel has been tightened a lot. So, and then look at this feed ramp. It's way wider. Probably should have cleaned this beforehand, but this is what working the job it does. So you can tell the The feed ramps are slightly different. Alright. Alright, there's probably a bunch of other stuff I'm missing. I'll go ahead and put these guys back together. And tell you this thing is way better than I thought it was going to be. It is amazing too. Way better than I thought. And this changes, everybody says it was subtle. No, the clock changes were subtle. These improved on a weapon that was already great. And they did it just fine. Now, making this video, there is a shorter model. I got this back in, when it first came out, like the first week. There was a special going on over Advances, and I had to grab it. It was like $4.50 plus a free mag and a gift card. It was like, wow, I was wife's gonna kick my ass, but still gonna get it. And now here, doing this video, they released a new compact. They released a new tiny compact size, which is slightly smaller, but slightly smaller, and slightly smaller on the barrel as well. And it's supposed to be competition with the Glock 19, which I think this is plenty competition anyway. A half an inch is not going to matter much, and I prefer the full size slide, and then the full size grip, which my hands fit perfectly, and they all like that. I guess here's this 45. This is what the long slide looks like on a 9, and it's bigger. I don't really like the long slide, especially for concealed carry. It's not gonna do it. And then my custom 40, all shiny. You know, I have other ones, but the table's not big enough. When you talk about concealed carry, you know, people are usually used to carrying something like this, some little guy. And 5 rounds, 5 rounds of 38 special plus P it's not going to do it for me. Usually I feel comfortable with the 7-rounders. Plus I have extras, and then I always got this guy for backup. But here recently, I told you that I have a new baby. I have a 2-year-old now, new baby, and then of course my 10-year-old and 9-year-old. The older ones could probably handle the stress of the 357 if it was away from them. If need be, if I needed to fire it in front of them or something like that, you know, God forbid. But the 9 is a much safer option when it comes to having children around, and that's what you got to deal with when it comes to choosing your weapon. You know, anything else I forgot, leave it in the comments. I'm probably forgetting. I didn't give you any specific numbers on the sizes of the tolerances or anything like that. This can all be looked up on SmithandWesson.com. There's also other forums on Smith & Wesson that deal with this thing. They go more in-depth in text than I can in the video. And I don't even know if you're going to even write this down. So, you know, a 0.1 variation in some of the tolerances here are not much, but it's enough to where, like the 0.1 variation in the size, these sizes of each on the website, they say this is smaller, a 0.1 difference. And it's enough difference to where, you know, holster makers are making their stuff smaller so it won't wiggle when you put the original, when you put a new 2.0 in. So certain ones, you can look all that stuff up. That's it, pretty much. I would definitely suggest getting one if you're, you know, die hard getting one. And then if you want the compact, you just go to the store and, you know, grip it. And if you like it, test it out too. There's some of these ranges have rentals, and go ahead. There's no being ashamed and wanting to dress up your thing like a Glock. Yes, there is. But if you feel that you need it, go ahead. If not, stock is still, a good gun works right out of the box. And that's the way you should always look at it. Everybody wants to put, 50 round mags in their Glocks and stuff like that. You don't need all that. You want to put a light on there? Fine. You want to put a big holographic sight? Whatever. You don't need all that for average, everyday carry. I'll get into that later on another video. But, this is it. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Facebook. Also, visit our website, warlordmanagement.net. We're going to have t-shirts, stickers, everything else, 3-per gear. Please support our operation. We need it. And have a good day.